did they tell you just how long a time it took?
Happy Sunday!
Happy Sunday.
What's up? What's up?
I just came from the episode, so I'm still on a high. So literally, I jumped in after.
Yay! Nagpagupit ka! Bagong gupit!
Yes, finally.
Yay! Bagay!
Thank you.
Hey, Mikey!
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I love this song, by the way.
I love this song. Reese, your song is beautiful.
Yes! O, dahil last na to, pakinggan muna natin ang buo to. Char na.
Tapusin natin. Why not?
Super nice! Grabe!
Yes.
Yeah, I like it.
Like the song.
Marami kayong thoughts, feelings.
Feelings,
Mama!
yes. Feelings, yes. A lot of feelings.
Hi, Prince.
Hi, Prince.
Hey, Prince!
Yeah.
Hey.
Hindi naman tayo makaka-copyright dyan.
Hindi
Hindi,
naman.
kasi we're talking over it, so hindi tayo makaka-copyright. So,
Ah, talaga. Oh, that's good.
Ayan.
Alright.
Tapusin na natin.
Yeah.
Okay na tayo. Yes!
Yeah. So, Prince, we're not going to be watching the episode here because this is an after show chat. So, we've already watched it. So, we're just going to be talking about what we thought and what we felt about it. So, if you haven't watched it yet, go ahead and watch it. And then you can come back to this video later on.
True.
Okay, we have some more people in the house. So, hi, Stefan.
bonjour. Ça va?
Yes. Sama-sama. Talamaska. Yes.
Yes.
Dirty, hey.
Oh, if you know of the variations, can you let us know in the chat?
Hindi, kasi
Maybe
there
if
were
you
two
have a link.
variations. We have the happy song version and we have the very mellow acoustic version of the song.
True.
Okay. So I must have missed that. But hey, Al. Thank you for being here.
Yes.
All right. So, siguro, hi. The ones that So, we're gonna talk about the episode and we're gonna talk about the entire, the entire
Yes.
series now because it's now the
Yes.
finale. So, if you're joining us for the first time, we are brouhahas Squad, and right now there are 3 out of the 7 members here. So my name is Mike, and here is Lance, and right down there is Nika. So we are here to talk about Boys Lockdown, episode 8, and the entire series. Oh, sorry, 6. Wow.
Yeah.
And the entire series as well. Hi, Psycho Milk. So, ano ba? May 1-hour challenge ba tayo?
Are we gonna do all of them from
Let's do a
from
challenge.
let's do one of them.
Finish the after show chat in 1-hour challenge.
Correct. Since may challenge naman sa last episode na to. Diba?
Ano bang challenge yan? Nakakaloka. So kayo guys, kung may challenge kayo for us, let us know. Hey, Kale!
Hey, Kale.
Yes! Fudge the virus. Miss Rona, if you can hear me, you better go away because we don't want you anymore. You know.
So we're gonna go uptick na rin. If you have any challenge for us, bring it on. We'll try to do it within the hour span
Oh my
time as long as we're
God.
aired.
Grabe.
Subukan natin. Ayan.
Let's try.
By the way, Lance, nice haircut.
Thank
Bagay.
you. I finally
Yes.
got a barber. Thank
Ganyan ba
you.
talaga yung haircut mo? Yun
Yeah,
talaga yung
madalas.
haircut mo?
Yes. The other one was my quarantine hair.
Yes, my
May
hair is
quarantine
pretty long.
hairstyle na pala.
Hi, Nolan.
Hi,
And
Nolan.
intro opening whistle version, acoustic version, and episode 4, there was the, oh, wow, Talamasca, you did your research. Well done. Good for you.
Yeah.
Love that. Ayan. So, how do we do this? What format are we going to be using?
The lighter satisfies bombers na lang and then
Let's take it from there. Bahala na.
bahala na.
Sino mag-uumpisa?
I'll go first. Uy, ano
Go.
talaga. I've been vocal about the last episode, right? I did tell you guys that I wasn't really happy. Na parang ano ba, nakaka-irita. I got annoyed and I was like, Nako, bahala na. Ayoko na mag-BL. Char.
Talagang, yung episode na yan, nakapagsabi sa'yo na I don't wanna do BLs anymore. Oh my God. What an
Really
impact.
that?
Kasi
Why?
ang annoying kasi to me, na parang ano ba, wala namang, kasi parang we're already forgiving the entire series. Diba sinasabi nga natin na parang we have to feel young and think young whenever we watch the series or the episodes.
Yes.
Because it's not really that heavy. There isn't so much depth to it. And I'm not saying it in a bad way, ha. I'm just saying that you need to watch it as a happy person. And if you want to be happy, watch the series, watch the episodes, because you will be happy in the end. Parang ganun. But the last episode, go Lance.
Yeah, parang it is a good, nasabi nga namin kina Direct Vince before, na with Denise and Direct, they were together in one forum. Sabi ko sa kanila na, it's a good thing that both of you are on a Sunday. After getting the press from Mio, we have Denise's show to bring it all up. So sabi ko, that was a good pairing.
Yeah. Pero yun nga, parang nabawi naman for this particular phenomenon.
Yes,
Parang,
super.
Parang it's the same thing that I'm gonna say, no? Parang, you shouldn't be thinking like a mature human being whenever you watch the series. If you want to be happy, sabi ni Direct Vince, diba? Nakaka-happy lang siya talaga, no? Bakit naman ang Boys Lockdown, happy series lang naman talaga siya, walang issue whatsoever. It's plain, it's simple, right? Hindi mo nga makitaan ng masyadong conflict eh. Parang you can't even feel the tension at all. Parang it's just your mundane lockdown. Kaya nga Boys Lockdown eh. Lockdown story of two guys who got interested in each other and they're kind of like, experiencing the puppy kind of love. No, kasi bata pa sila and all, di ba? Even their dialogue is so plain and simple. I won't even say na mababaw. Parang gano'n naman talaga pag puppy love eh. Na tipong, should we count 5 seconds? Ganyan? Before you take off your mask and all, di ba? So mga ganun. But I'm gonna say this. Sa kissing scene, naiyak talaga ako. No joke. Naiyak talaga ako. I swear.
Oh wow.
And then
Why?
I had to compose myself. Hindi naman nagulgul na iyak na ganyan, no. It just made me recall things, memories in the past. Kasi parang for me, we've seen like good kissing scenes in several series already. Top of mind would be Game Boys for me. Game Boys kasi, it was made very dramatic eh, di ba? Nasa gitna ng kalye, and then the panning of the camera, umiikot yung camera with the song, everything was there, right? So, it's dramatic, right? Ito kasi, it's one of my favorites, I guess. It will come second to Game Boys for me sa akin, because it didn't have so much. It didn't have the cinematography, didn't have the panning of the camera. It just had the song, that song that we just listened to, and that bed scene, nakahiga lang sila. And it just made me recall of the past. Alam mo yun? Na parang, oh my God. And it just made me feel emotions again. And then it made me recall, na parang, oh my gosh, parang naramdaman ko na naman yung mga emotions na yun. Kasi usually, whenever we with our partners, usually ang eksena wala naman sa kalye eh. Aminin natin yan. Diba? Usually, sa kama tayo, and then nagpapaka-hanky-panky tayo and all, and then you're kissing, and then you just stare at each other, and then you just lie down in bed, and then you just sleep, and then that's it. And then it just made me feel fuzzy and happy, and then at the same time, parang it just made me miss the emotion again. So naiyak talaga ako, walang bibihis ako, sabi ko, ala, bakit ganito? Parang, simple lang naman yung kwento. The story was just plain for me, really. Pero that scene, that kissing scene, really made me feel emotions. I'm telling you. So yun lang. Super.
So I guess it was effective in that way.
Super, Mikey. Super talaga.
Tapos Nico, may voice-over pa na ang very touching ng voice-over nila. Nakakainis.
Exactly.
Do you remember what they said?
I wrote it down.
Okay, let's hear it.
I wrote parts of it down. The ones that struck me, I wrote parts of it down. Like, for 5 seconds, tumahimik ang buong mundo ko. Tumahimik ang utak ko. For 5 seconds, di ako nakaramdam ng kahit anong lungkot. For the first time nagsimula ang ECQ, di sumasagi sa isip ko ang mga takot na parati kong karga sa utak ko.
Okay.
Nakalimutan ko agad-agad na pinagkaitan tayo ng mga bagay na nagpapasaya sa buhay, sa pagiging tao. At naalala ko kung bakit napakasarap pa rin mabuhay kahit sobrang hirap, sobrang unfair, sobrang hopeless pa rin ng mundo. Tapos the others was like Ki, Chen saying na I feel like I was given the coronavirus the biggest middle finger in his ugly face. Tapos parang the last statement was say I had to stop writing kasi kinikilig na ako. And then the last statement was like na parang hindi, the end statement was like parang coronavirus or not, virus or not, hindi pa rin tayo kapatalo. Parang that summed it all for me. Pero yung the first few lines how I was typing it, parang, okay, kaya pa to. So biglang, ay, okay, ayoko na. I mean, it was lovely. It was beautiful. That's with all, it's like you're tying everything with a knot na agad. With, especially the other scenes that you saw from Dicky and Libby, to Dev, to Martin and Wills. You get to see everyone's love stories go into a full circle, kumbaga.
Super. And then, siguro, yun yung sinasabi natin na like, whenever you do voiceovers or dubbing, no, parang do it in a very natural way. And I felt the lines, yung ganon, yung hinahanap ko kasi. And then, doon ako napaiyak talaga na, yun lang.
Any other thoughts, Lance? What did you think about it?
Yeah, and actually, those are the biggest thoughts that I have. When I was hearing those words, parang it felt like I was reading through the niece season's books. Kasi I bought her book. Ito, I'll show the book.
Sige, pakita mo.
Start here.
Nice.
From the romance class.
Ganun siya magsulat talaga.
You can go to romanceclassbooks.com. Similar sila. Kasi di ba sinasabi rin niya na they're taught in romance class how to write yung romance novels. And once you read through because they're all short stories of girl to girl, boy to boy, like kind of stories. And when you read through that, parang, shit, I could hear her tone. I could hear her voice, her writing. As Chen. No, as Ki pala. As Ki. Especially yung malalim na Tagalog, parang, that's her pace, that's her style. Parang, Denise, kudos.
Yes.
And it felt like what we expected from a romance novel. Because I think that was what she said before. I'm writing a romance novel. I'm writing it for kilig. I'm writing it for that fluff. I'm writing it for the cotton candy and rainbows. Kasi that's what I want to see how life would be. That's how I want to see how two boys would fall in love be. Kasi we had too much of all the dark sides of the drama. And I'm hoping that would be the utopia. Na we would get our own fluff and cotton candies too.
Okay.
Kaya ganun yung feel ng buong Voice Lockdown. Parang, that's for episode 6. Pero for episode 5, I understand where you're coming from then, Nico. Kasi ako din. Pero kudos on the mindfulness session for unlocking something like that. I want to attend one too. I want to have that kind of nirvana power then. Let's see. Ate Libby, hi. Titinsa na totoo to. Pero,
go ahead.
Yeah, parang from start to end, I'll just review the whole thing na rin na. Parang, I like how it went. From the start to the end. It felt like I was reading, sabi ko, I was reading Denise Season's short story, in a way. If you look at it as a whole, you're reading one whole story, one whole short story, with all the fluff, all the colors, all the kilig, all the moments. Yun lang.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. Siguro ako naman, I just want to sort of like do a quick review of all of the episodes.
Okay.
Sure.
So, because I agree with everything that you guys said. I agree that this is a love story, but there are some surprises in there that I want to mention, and also some other things that I noticed that maybe we could also expect in the second season, because apparently there is going to be a second season. We saw Ki and Chen will be back, so obviously that's indication that there will be a second season. Whether it's going to be first quarter or second quarter, we don't know yet. But there is to be one, and we hope that it's going to be soon. So, siguro in the first episode, basically, it's introduction of the setting, diba? Parang you have the pandemic, and then you have Ki, who is alone in his house, and then we also get an introduction for Chen with his sister, diba? So it's basically also sort of like giving us the characters that are going to be in the central focus for the
Mm,
series.
mm. Yeah, yeah.
So we find out that Key and Dev were in a relationship before, and then
Mhm.
Mart is their best friend, right? And then we don't know much about Mart yet, and then
Oo.
later we find out about him, diba? Okay, so we also have sort of like the craze that happened during that time, which is
Mm.
Dalgona, right? And they were doing it even in Uptick. They were doing it as well. So one of the things that sort of like was a pleasant surprise for me, and I think they do it for every episode. I was trying to find things that were surprising for me. So the first surprise was Tita Julie. So Tita Julie,
Yes.
and actually she did a couple of appearances. The first one was to point
Yes.
out the masks, and the second one was basically to return or to consult about an item that got broken
Right,
because
right.
Roberto wasn't using the correct cleaning thing. I don't know. Pero yun nga eh. So hopefully we see her in the second season, and hopefully
Right.
we meet Roberto because I mean that I think that's just gonna be fun. But in any case, so yun. And also, what I liked about the first episode was that Key talked when he was talking to Martin was
Mm,
basically sort of like us. He was talking about being lonely, being estranged from his parents and his
Mm.
family, and just
mm,
basically
mm,
feeling alone, di ba? Na
mm, mm,
parang
mm.
there has to be some sort of connection pa rin because people are experiencing some mental health issues. So I like that they were able to bring that up
Mm,
because it is
mm.
of course a shared experience and people are going through it as well. So in
True.
the second episode, um, we now sort of like focus more on Chen. So
Mm,
we meet Laksa, we meet Atalibi, Mar, diba? And then also we sort of like I think this is the part, Nico, where you felt or you said that you gained a more of an amor towards
mm.
Chen
Yes.
because he
Mhm.
started dancing. He started dancing at the first part of the episode. He started dancing and he was on top of the bed and he was enjoying
Mm,
himself. He was wearing boxers and all that stuff.
right.
And he was doing cutesy as well with Atalibi. And Atalibi also in this episode also mentioned something about mental health. Basically,
Yeah,
she talked to Chen because she said she was having a Zoom induced nervous breakdown because
yeah.
stuff was happening in the Zoom, which can happen as well if you are, for example, working. So
Mm,
it
mm.
can still cause stress, right?
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
she
yeah.
talked about, I thought, parang before there were boundaries, like home was home and then work was work. But now it's all together. So where are the walls? Where are the boundaries? She was doing that kind of monologue, diba? So yun. And um, I think this was also the episode wherein we saw sort of like a political slant, wherein
Okay.
Key was trying to contact Chen, and then he was trying to connect to Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi names were basically "Never Again,"
Yeah.
"Nasaan ang plano," and
Mm,
"Defend Press Freedom." Because I think during that time there was a lot of um, stuff that was happening, which was against
mm.
freedom of speech. So I appreciated that. So that was for me the little surprise for that second episode. Um, what is this? Oh, and also the second episode gave us a flashback. So it gave us an idea of how Key got his standee and also the masks. Yeah. Because
Right.
they went to this, what do you call that? Garage sale. Yung super
Yes.
Baduy. The super
That's where
Baduy
Baduy garage sale.
sale. Uh, that super Baduy garage sale that you took me to
Kainis.
Ata Libby. All right. So they weren't able to connect in the second episode. In the third episode, they still were trying to connect, diba? This is the episode wherein Chen escapes from the house and then waits
Mm,
for
mm.
Key in the waiting area, diba? So
Right, right.
this is the episode where Ati Libby loses it. You know
Mm,
that infamous, hindi naman infamous, that memorable dining scene, right? When she was eating and she was
mm,
talking
mm,
about
mhm,
Chen, I need you to be more careful. I'm responsible for you, and I need you to help
mm,
me, right? Because I can't do it alone. We were abandoned. I felt abandoned by our mom when she left. And the people who are
mm,
supposed to lead us apparently don't know what they're doing. And alam mo yon, parang we have it better than most, but then it doesn't mean that it's not gonna get better because parang it's not getting better. Parang gano'n, di ba? And we were like, what the fuck? She's really calling them out. I was like, yeah, di ba? Ayun. So there. And this is also, of course, the episode where Chen creates the uptick video wherein he sort of like feels sad because he didn't show up. And this is also the part wherein Laksa, best boy, best girl, accidentally posts the video.
Yep.
Diba?
Right.
Yeah. Oh, and also another thing that I liked about this series is that for them, boys' love is very normal. Like he talks
Yes.
freely to Libby about it.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's nothing out of the ordinary. She's just like, okay, okay, I'll watch your video. And then the video, of course, is parang my crush didn't show up. You know, like I was waiting for 2 hours and he didn't show up. You know, so so I mean, it was all normal. I mean, I really really appreciate about that. So parang ano yun nga eh, parang this is the world that we are looking for or waiting for. Wherein parang you can just talk about whoever you like, whether it's a boy or a girl or whatever, and it's absolutely fine. So it was posted. So fourth episode, long story short, Key is able to watch the vid and then realizes that Bote Cute is actually CC Strong. Diba? And this is also the conversation that they have wherein Chen calls up Key and then asks, so do you have a girlfriend? No. Do you have a boyfriend? No. Okay. So can I court you? I really like you. I really want to get to know you. It's important to me, you know.
You get him so well.
I know. And then, you know, this is also the funny scene wherein Key falls into the curtain falls, etc. So that's pretty cute.
Yes.
So again, very, very normal. And the way that they have the conversation, it's like, you feel killing for them talaga eh. Because, alam mo yun, parang Shen is so sweet, and then Key is like very awkward and sort of like, you know, like, I don't know, like he's trying to be cool about it, but we know he's not because he runs into things, he falls into things and all that, right? So basically, Key is us when we feel killing, right?
True.
And then episode 5. So we now know that Dev is fluid. She's now dating the girl who is a captain of the volleyball.
True.
Yeah.
And there's actually a couple of lines there wherein Dev says, "Here's to being too hot for just one gender."
Yeah.
And then Kaloy says, or Kaloy, Mart says something like, "The straights can suck it." Right? And then they go into this webinar where apparently is done by Libby, and then Chen is there running in the background, shirtless, being himself, being totally cute. And then they have this staring contest with the two of them, Key and Chen.
Tsaka yung Chanene mama, kita. I love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
We love a little fun.
Tapos Tina Moran is there again. Sa Zoom. Na yun.
What challenge, Gail?
You speak like Chen daw. For the whole...
For the entire session, Mikey.
For the entire session.
I don't think I can do that because I don't talk like that. I mean, it's hard.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say, Mark's year sort of like changed because I did like a volunteer program. I can't talk that slow. I'm so sorry. So anyways, Mark sort of like turned a new leaf. For previous episodes, he was all about momol, making out, bulking, and all that. But for this episode, he sort of like turned a new leaf, and he also stated that he is now doing a volunteer program wherein he's helping people who are stranded. Which is why in the next episode he brings Wills to wherever he needs to go so that he can go home, right, and meet his family. So in episode 6, sex, Game Boys. Episode 6. Oh my God, this is where. Well, we just basically saw it.
Yeah, we got the ASMR feel, we got the kiss, we got... All the uptick
Right.
challenges.
I like that because in this episode, basically, they sort of like give ideas on what you can do if you are on
Mm,
lockdown.
mm.
But I think one of the things that I will remember from this particular episode is when they sort of start really feeling the isolation slash attraction, right? I mean,
Okay,
Chen was
okay.
giving me really big dick energy when he started to come near to
Yes!
Key.
Grabe,
It
no?
was like, I mean, and Key sort of like had to back up because, parang
Commanding to serve.
Chen
Yeah,
was like, I mean, big D energy. Like, he was like,
yeah.
well, you know what? You're really making it hard to be near you and to
Trip
not
ka
touch
doon.
you and to not kiss you. And then he had his hand up like that. He had the other hand up like that. And I was like, oh
In
my
a,
God.
in a sweet way eh. Hindi naman siya parang
I know.
commando,
It wasn't
aggressive, hindi
threatening at
naman.
all.
Right.
I mean, like, if I were Key, I would have like, yes,
Tiklop!
come
Tiklop si mama!
right?
Sorry.
Yes, absolutely. Right. Oh, and by the way, siguro satisfier would be.
Mhm.
I mean, in the previous episodes, we've always seen people be shirtless, right?
Mhm,
And we've talked
mhm.
about it before. I'm not a fan of Dicky always being
Same,
shirtless, but
same.
but at least in this particular episode, he was shirtless.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, he was wearing a shirt.
Mhm,
I
mhm,
mean,
mhm.
it should have been because he met Libby. Finally, they met up, and
Yes.
she had something for him that was cute. And in the halftime, wherein he was giving the usual,
Yeah.
he also was wearing a shirt. Oh, and regarding that halftime, by the way, he also mentioned episode 6 halftime. He also mentioned na parang there's still no plan. So I think that's still a commentary regarding our government. So I
Shade.
like
Hey.
that. I like
Yes.
actually
Yes.
kind of a bummer, but not really. I wanted that there would be more sort of like social commentary.
Mm,
I mean,
mm,
we
mm.
got it from Libby, and we got
Mhm.
it from the Wi-Fi, and we got it from Dickie here. But that's sort of like just 3 out of the 6 episodes. So it would
Mhm.
have been nice if there was more of it,
Right, right.
because I mean, definitely, I know that it's all about the colleague and stuff, but
Yeah.
since we are sort of like setting it in the pandemic, then whatever is happening during this pandemic or whatever
Mm,
is not happening during this pandemic can
mm.
still be included in the narrative, right?
Right,
So
right.
that's what I'm saying. Um, I mean, this particular episode was just so cute. I mean, the way that they interacted, the stuff that they
Mhm.
did, the way that they
Yeah.
were looking. I mean, the way that their eyes were conversing with each other. That
Mhm.
those little banter thingies that happened with the sleeping arrangements, with the
Yeah.
toilet, and with the masks and all of that. It was really really cute. Um, siguro I have one thing about the kiss. You know,
Mm.
What?
um, I appreciate it. And it's romantic. I mean, it's puppy love. It's apparently it's the first kiss from by
Oo nga.
Jen's first kiss,
Sabi niya.
which
Jen,
surprised me.
hello.
Because they were
Totoo
like,
ba? Char.
dude, you're a grown man. But anyways, it's cute. The entire
Mm,
thing was cute. It was kilig and all of that.
mm, mm.
My worry is, unlike perhaps other what do you call this? Other series that we've seen, there were swab tests. It was
Mm,
Yeah.
verbalized that
mm.
there were swab tests before they actually
Okay.
kissed.
Right.
So my thing is, this kiss is so romantic
Mm,
that maybe it might encourage other people to be romantic
right.
without taking the necessary precaution. So that is
Good
my thing
point.
with it.
Good
You
point.
know,
Yeah.
like I mean, I was all for the click and all of that, but I
Mm.
couldn't in the back of my head. I couldn't that voice, that paranoid Virgo voice in my head was
The inner
like,
saboteur.
shoot,
Saboteur, yes.
oh
Wanted
my
to come
god,
true.
Pero sabi
know?
naman po ni Chen, they're gonna go, ay
I
sabi ni
know.
Ki ba yun? Na
Yeah,
they're gonna go gargle daw afterwards. So,
Yes.
they did say that. They did say that. That you're gonna gargle. We're gonna do 14 days of quarantine after this, and you're gonna take vitamins and all of that.
mm,
Again, I could not help the voice in my head screaming, no! Well, one part of my brain was saying yes. The other side of my brain was like, no! And I'm sorry if I ruined it for you guys or what, but I mean, this is my reaction. So that's
Yeah.
No,
that's what I was
pero,
thinking.
pero may kitama naman. Kasi like yung background or backdrop mo kasi, pandemic eh. So,
Mm.
it's totally reasonable. Although hindi ko naman siya
Yes.
naisip. Siguro it's very personal kasing experience ko naman. But yeah, I have to agree with you. It might give off a different impression sa mga nanood eh. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
might do
I
that
mean,
too.
overall, well, understandable. I mean, yun nga eh. Parang I understand that they took the risk that they did
Yeah.
because they were sort of like fueled by the emotion, by the closeness,
Yeah.
diba? By the entire um, romanticism of it all, diba? Parang you're meeting your crush for the first time, you're alone, you're together, you know. I mean, I get that. Pero yun lang, siguro dito advice na lang, if you are going to do it, make sure that you understand the risks involved. That's just what I'm saying. And if you can, take the necessary precaution. That's all I'm gonna say, diba? Parang, I mean, you are free to kiss who you want to kiss, but just make sure that you do it safely. I mean, please, alam mo yun? Kasi parang, it's like,
So parang
And I'm
Game Boys
sorry.
dapat may plastic din?
hindi naman. I mean, whatever works for you. Pero seriously, parang I'm now thinking about it in terms of condoms.
Oh my God.
Ganon?
No. I mean, it's pretty much like infection.
Yeah,
I mean, if you don't wear a condom, even if you feel that you're safe, even if you think that you're safe, if you're not wearing a condom and one of you has HIV, you might get HIV. So it's similar. You might feel that the other person is safe, and you might feel that the other person is, but unless you actually have it confirmed, if you kiss, you might get something. So, yun lang. Sorry, guys.
Sabi nga ni Kele, parang he thought they were gonna make out through the mask. Actually, inisip ko rin talaga siya. Kasi parang naglalapit na sila, magkalapit sila and all. Parang he thought the part they're something, like, siguro reference natin Game Boys, and then they're gonna make out with the mask on. Pero medyo weird, di ba? Pero,
it is. Pero yun lang. I mean, overall...
Pero I think... Go ahead.
Yeah, overall, I think that it was a good series. Like, I enjoyed watching it. And unlike you, Nico, I didn't feel any strong disappointments or anger or anything of that sort, because I think I was just really caught up in the cuteness of the two leads.
Yes.
And yun yung gusto ko doon. At saka another thing, I like that they were very very consistent in the guidelines, in the warnings, all of that. Right?
Yeah.
Tuloy-tuloy siya. Every episode you would see it, right? And people would verbalize it. Dicky, non-stop, 1 meter, even in
this live chats.
Even in uptake, 1 meter apart. Like, Dicky, is there anything else in your vocabulary? But anyways.
Wait. Speaking of Dicky, di ba parang may mga posts tayo, we see these on Facebook, that whenever you post something in text, people will not notice, right? Anything that has to do with, say, social distancing, anything that's socially relevant. But if you put a photo of somebody who's topless or who shows skin, then you get the attention of people, and that's the time that you get to read the text, right? So I think that's the same principle that they did in like the intermission ng Boys Lockdown. Di ba there were like 2 episodes na naka-topless yata sa Dicky. And I think 3 yata, no? And I think he really got the attention of like everybody watching, that hey, pay attention and be mindful of these protocols. I think, yun nga, ako at first, I was like, a bit iffy about it. Parang, do you really have to be topless and like shirtless? But then again, he really got the attention of the viewer. So yeah, consistency of the protocols plus the attention. I think yun yung yes. Lance.
I'm just wondering though if it could have been done differently. Because parang, yun nga, your question is, bakit kailangan shirtless? Because it wasn't really necessary, I would say. But in any case, at least it was just a short one because halftime lang
Right.
talaga siya. Pero yun
Yeah.
nga, since you mentioned the shirtless things, again, I go back to Evoy. So, Kuya Wills, why do we have to take off our shirt and our
Yes.
sandal
Yes.
during work hours? And also when there is no reason for you to take off your shirt. I don't get that. And also with Dicky, when he had to take off his shirt after doing an optic. And it was a
You know,
long time that he wasn't wearing a shirt. I mean, he could have just taken it off and then put on a shirt like immediately, but no, he had a
True.
whole ass conversation with Chen while shirtless. And dude, you're in public. There might be another person that comes along, and you are also on the job technically. So, anyways, so yun, parang,
fan service daw.
yeah, this is it.
Pero Mikey, I think I think it was Ma'am Yao who mentioned this when we had this session with yung sa queer representation session natin last Friday. I think it was Ma'am Yao. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ma'am Yao. I think you made mention that boys lockdown is about the future. Eh. I think Mikey, you made mention na parang
It's
it seems
parang
na
the victory.
yeah, it's what we're aiming for. Eh. And I think kung ang context natin or mindset natin is now or even the past, parang baka hindi natin ma-appreciate masyado si Boys Lockdown. But if our mindset and our context is like the future, that everybody's free and open about all these things, then I think Boys Lockdown would be like the future. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess. Yun.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
maybe
it's
they're-
set in a world, in a dystopia universe wherein
Yes.
everyone is okay with everyone
Utopia.
being whoever they are and loving whoever they love.
Yeah.
Hence, it could validate the use of fan service na they could be shirtless because who cares what they wear, kumbaga. Parang if they're shirtless or not.
Mm,
Pero yun nga, it could be, it's like, I would, in a way, na having them shirtless nga, it's to grab attention. Kasi if you see, like, for example, see Dicky, him shirtless, then you'd hear something coming out of his voice. Maybe it would be a more call for you. Because
Yeah.
you saw the body and you hear what's going to be what's happening. Maybe.
yeah, possibly. I don't know. I'm still 50-50 about it. But would I watch it again? Wow, if I had some free time and
Yes.
like feel some good vibes, definitely. This is a good
Yes.
vibes kind of series. So
Especially episode 6. I would watch episode 6 over and over again if we need a kill.
True.
Right.
True.
Um,
Wait,
so,
yes, Mikey.
I guess are we doing bummers now? Because I think we switched into bummers now. But anyway,
Okay
sige,
lang.
go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You're gonna say
Kasi
something.
I'll just explain, like, share my thoughts na lang. Like, lahat na to ha, like, the lighter satisfies bombers, and before we do our rating with the rest
Okay.
in the comment section. Siguro, ako, ginamit ko na naman yung criteria ko, mama. Nagpa-Excel sheet na naman ako.
Ay, meron. Patingin. Let us see.
Uy, nakakahiya. I'll just
I'm
go through.
curious.
Pero may score na ako talaga naisip.
Ay, perfect. Okay, sige.
Ako
Siguro,
din.
na lang. I'll just qualify what I put here. Siguro in terms of, siguro highlight ko na lang. I'll have to give it to acting siguro. First of all, production muna. I mean, come on, it's clean. It's alam mo, it's smooth for me. I mean, the OST is there. Alam mo yun, parang siguro kung may kapintas-pintas man sa editing and then sa cinematography, minimal na lang. To me kasi parang I look at the collective and the holistic production.
Yes.
So, I really appreciate Boys Lockdown kasi despite the plain storytelling and the narrative, parang they compensated in production, like in editing, in music, in cinematography. And I love it. Like, I don't have qualms about it. Secondly, parang I'll give it to acting. Kasi, I think Lance, you made mention that Alec Kevin has this debut in Cinemalaya. Di ba meron siyang film before?
Yes, Fish Out of Water. Ang nanay niya si Yayo. So, Yayo's been a BL tawid ever since.
So yun, I guess translate naman dito on screen. Although sa first 2 episodes, tama si Mikey, I was kind of unsure of him, but he got me in the next episodes. Parang he charmed me all the way. But I could see that it's possible, his character is possible in that reality. So I think he was able to really realize the character, definitely. Ginagaya na nga ni Mikey. So ibig sabihin effective talaga siya. So yun. So
Sorry
yun.
na.
So I super like the acting. I mean, siguro may mga ang pinaka-awkward lang I guess si Wills, I think kasi medyo bago pa lang siya. I think nagbo-model lang siya, but he's not really
Yeah.
an actor, I guess. But the rest, we're okay. We're good. I mean, good enough for the roles that they took really at the end of the
Yeah.
day. So acting for me is okay. Is good. Okay na ako dun. I just have a concern, and I think I'll piggyback on what Mike Lance said.
Sige
Lance,
back.
Lance said that parang the writer is a romance novelist, writer rather, right? So I get the
Mm.
whole point. Right? It's all about the fluff, the romance, the kilig. Alam mo yon, parang kumbaga you don't really have to think it through, right? You don't have to create a very riveting conflict para lang, alam mo yun, to prove a point. At the end of the day, it's just
Mhm.
there to kilig, to make you feel kilig. So I give it to romance, right? But ako kasi, ang question ko kasi for writing, does it have impact, right? So, for me
Mhm.
kasi wala masyadong impact, okay? Because it did not actually make me think. It did not actually make me reflect on things. Although, the last scene, the kissing scene, really made me feel emotional, to tell you honestly. And I was really sentimental.
Single
Na,
AF.
ay, grabe.
Sabi ni Kale, single AF daw.
Super. But yun nga, but I think si Nolan and then made mention that he is reminded of his first love. And yes, I was reminded of my first love. Na
Mm.
parang ganun eh, 'di ba nasa kama kayo and you try to be cute, you try to like parang I don't know, parang kiss a little, sometimes you go forward, sometimes pipigilan mo sarili mo kasi parang you're trying to like be in a honeymoon stage eh. So I think, I felt emotional there. But overall kasi, like if I consider all the episodes, in terms of writing, it was plain. It was simple. It
Mhm.
kind of plateaued for me. Eh. Parang I was looking for a conflict. The only thing that really excited me was the scene of Ate Libby. And I was like, okay, this is what we need. Di ba sinabi ko yun sa
Signing.
inyo? Right. Yun yung sinabi ko sa inyo na parang it's what I need eh. I need that. Kasi pandemic ang backdrop natin eh. Ang konteksto natin eh. Give us something like that. And I think Titin gave that, act, that
Yeah.
role, in the character of Libby. So in terms of writing, nothing too special, nothing too crazy, nothing too exciting for me. But yes, I have to agree with Lance that it's all about romance. It's all about the fluff. And they were effective in that. Siguro hope ko na lang for the second episode, give us depth siguro. I think Al made mention here in the comments that parang sana ma-flesh out pa sana yung characters. Parang give us more story. Give us depth. Give us struggle, di ba? Give us need and desires. Yung pinag-uusapan natin kagabi. Na parang make us feel that these are people that we can relate to, di ba? I'm not saying na hindi sila relatable. All I'm saying is parang medyo surface lang yung napakita sa atin in the first season. I just hope in the second season, give us more. Parang don't just make us feel kilig. Give us depth of the character. Give us story. Give us struggle. Yun lang.
Mhm.
I think that's 932, yung comment ni Al.
Yeah,
Said,
I'll
if they
flash
fleshed out the characters more, the impact of the series would be greater. But having to change from 8 episodes to 6, they had to cut things out. Yeah.
it. Right.
Because yun nga, pandemic happened and then there was lockdown.
Too sad. Yeah.
Siguro ako rin, I'll encapsulate yung mga pros ko, which are basically my delighters and satisfiers now. So I already mentioned, yun nga, boys' love is normalized. Like, it is what it is. So we also mentioned the pandemic guidelines and the halftime sort of like advice that we get from I also like na yung ending credits, there's always a dance. And if you
Yes.
notice, in the last episode, the two of them were together. So the couple
Mm.
finally danced the dance, which everyone else did. Diba? I like the visual effects, especially for yung Boys Lockdown trailer and opening credits. Yung nasa street, yung text, and then Chen rides over it, diba? And then yung pag-wipe ng mga like 2 weeks into lockdown, etc. and so forth. So those kinds of effects with the text and with the visuals, I like that. Also, yung color grading, again, there's a lot of pastel, there's a lot of nice hues, parang yun nga, parang it was from an anime inspiration. I would have
Yes.
to refer to other people on what the anime is. But
Mm-mm.
yes, so we have that color grading. So the colorists, mga colorists, good job on that. And I also like the sound effects and the music. So the
Yeah.
songs here, the background music, diba? Parang they actually play a huge role as well. So they make you feel sort of like a funny scene or like kind of like a killing scene or a romantic scene, right?
Right.
Also, I like the Wi-Fi. I mean, all the political, a little bit of a political commentary there. So I think they
Right.
offered up a lot. You know, siguro one thing that you mentioned as well, or I'm not sure, but in terms of yung consistency siguro ng behavior, like for
Mm-hmm.
example, especially si Wills, because parang I think you mentioned this kanina. Parang si Wills kasi parang in the first episode he was like cold.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
He didn't. It appeared that he wasn't friends with
Right.
Key,
Right.
but then in the second
Mm-hmm.
episode they're pretty close. So I didn't get how he could be so cold in the first episode and then so
Yeah.
close in the second episode and
Ilocano.
onwards, right?
The regional thing.
Thing is though, it kind of threw
Yeah.
me for a loop. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
parang parang he was backing off, he was spraying everything that, and then later on in the next episode, so he's like all up in Key's face, and I even thought that he was trying to come on to Key, and I didn't get that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of people thought that he was trying to attract Key by taking off his shirt and etc. And then the same with Dicky. So I don't know, but I don't know if it's the acting or I don't know if it's the directing or. But then again, parang if they're friends, be consistent and show that they're
Right.
just friends. Or if they're sort of like enemies, then be consistent as well. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's my entire thing there. Yun. But very very promising cast, I would have to say.
Oh.
They're very
Yeah.
they're not yet not yet polished, I would say. I mean, diamonds in the rough, kumbaga.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
with a lot more direction and with a lot more practice, I think they really, really, really do well.
Uy,
Yeah.
magaling. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's it for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, I think you mentioned everything now that I was supposed to say. Pero if I judge this based on what was thrown in the BL landscape in the Philippines,
Okay.
they stand out. Because
Okay.
they're the only romance fluff
Right.
novel that normalizes the love is love.
Yes.
So
Yes.
out of all of the BLs, I think that's why it's different. Kasi it's a utopian world. Kumbaga, in a utopian world, everything is fluff, everything's happy, everything is kilig, everything is lovey, and it's like
I need that.
one giant anime na very, very light.
Yeah.
Although
Okay.
if they're gonna go anime, kasi after watching Cherry Magic, parang sabi ko, they could have done the same thing in a way to
talaga.
give that same anime flavor and feel, to make it more quirky, to make it more hype. At least there's an energy level of dips with that. Kasi with Boys Lockdown, it was like going like that. With Cherry Magic, you're going like that. Because everything's exaggerated with anime. So
okay.
if maybe we had those dips of exaggeration, maybe if we had those dips wherein Kalungsod would feel sad, as in really sad, like emoji anime sad, and you'd have Kalungsod really happy, like perky anime happy. Maybe we would be in the same ride as them. Maybe we would have the same ups and downs. Na yun yung conflict niya. It's internal conflict. It's kasi it's a way of how you tell the story. Like we could see a story even if the story is plain, but if it's well executed, it could be done really well, diba?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree.
I'm thinking of I'm currently thinking of what is a plain story but done really well. At the top of my mind, wala pa akong maisip. Pero na very, very fluff. Like
Okay.
I just get one anime would be Cardcaptor Sakura. It looks so fluff,
Yes, I love
but it has a story. Diba? It's all fluff, kumbaga. Pero there's a main plot kasi you're going on a roller coaster with Sakura and her parang try to understand what are these glow cards, what's the emotional impact to her, what's all that. With Kalungsod, maybe there's no ikot. Because I think the difference between this and the others is this is more character driven. And for me, this in spite of all the fluff, in spite of all of the kilig, I wanted more of the characters, siguro. I wanted more
Yeah.
depth and range from the characters. They
True.
may kasi I felt that with yung mga batikan na with one acting si Luis Padilla, si Titen Villanueva, with si Cristal, parang you knew they have background on acting, so you could feel the depths of the character. Especially epic yung moment ni Titen when she was asked to replicate an anime scene wherein she was eating, crying, and doing a monologue at the same time. That's hard to
Right.
pull off. And she did it
Super.
very well.
Super. Yeah.
So if we have that kind of range, maybe when they built the characters, it would be really, really, really good. Pero
Totally.
having all of that, because I think that would also help you guys na, because you're saying there was no conflict, you didn't feel the conflict. Maybe if that was it, if we all had Mikey's Ina Sabator or Cal Economsod would have Mikey's Ina Sabator, we would be seeing that conflict in our faces too.
Yeah.
Right.
I
So,
think yun.
sana all may Lee Xiaoran. Charot.
Yes.
although sabi ni Kale, no, ito, parang the conflict in the series is just the virus and trying to be loved or trying to be safe. True, okay? Kasi
Yeah.
like, if you try to write stories, parang conflict can come from the environment, right? The outside, where it can
Yes.
be within your premise or within your environment, family, or it can be you mismo, tama?
Internal.
That's
Yeah.
true. Siguro ako lang parang I just want the characters to go against, kumbaga in concrete terms, parang be up against that reality. Kasi kumbaga I want more stories of the character for me to really feel the struggle Parang it's not really, I'm not saying na it's not realistic. I'm just saying that it's diba, in our criteria for writing, the element or the component of plausibility, to me in my head, it makes sense within the reality of the character. Siguro impact na lang, parang more like how does it impact me as a person, and did it make me think things through? Parang I'm not saying it's bad. All I'm saying is give us more of the character So yun lang yung
Yes.
parang wish ko sana for episode
Season 2.
Season 2 rather. Parang give us more of the character. We get now the entire background, the context, the conflict, it's there. Parang make us see that the characters are really struggling within that conflict diba?
Yeah.
So yun lang
Yeah, that's the thing I think, no? Kasi parang the conflicts that we have weren't really conflicts. It was more like there were circumstantial things that were sort of like preventing them from contacting each other. But then but everything else falls into place. Like for example, in this last episode, you have Chen streaming his time with Key live. And not one negative comment like, ay, ano ba yan, mga baklas? Nothing at all, right?
Wala.
And I think because they're living in a utopian society.
Right. That's a reality.
A dystopian universe. And we are living here wherein we expect... yeah, we are living in reality wherein we expect that there will be a negative comment, but you had none of that at all, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they were encouraging. I mean, there was Dicky, but it was just the 1 meter apart. It wasn't even, anything against them personally. So I guess, yeah, in terms of conflict, I don't know though if we are going to be seeing more.
I think
in the
I feel we are.
Yeah.
But I think that we might, kasi yun nga, parang since they're already technically together, then the issue should be about them as a couple now. So we should be able to see more conflict.
Yes.
I don't know how they're gonna do it though. I don't know what those conflicts are gonna be, but I'm hoping for the second season that we see Tita Julie.
Yes.
Or Miss Tina.
Wait lang.
Wait, did you reference the kids pala of Tita Julie in the Zoom chat too?
Yun! Andun sila.
Sino Berto and Cassandra.
Oh my God, I didn't notice.
Andun sila. Nakakatawa. Grabe.
Well, Dev was there because Devastation, right? And then Dicky was there. But those are the only ones that I recognized. I didn't recognize the others.
And there's also like a tweet I saw na they're all looking for sino si Ian, finding Cassandra, finding Roberto, who are the cast members who played them.
Uy, may magandang point si Kale, no? Si Dev, parang bigla daw nagbago yung mukha niya towards the end eh.
Yeah.
And I think that could be a conflict eh, from her end,
Yeah.
correct? Ang akin
Mhm.
lang, parang, yun ba sinasabi ko, like in our previous reviews, no? And then live chats, parang nakulangan din ako kay Dev eh. Parang I wanted her with more exposure, more
Yes.
story sana. Kasi parang, hala ano yun, parang dumaan ka lang, and then, hala, sayang. And I think, may maibubuga pa siya as an actor, as a character. 'Di ba? Parang 'di ba medyo nabitin ako doon na parang okay, fluid ka pa, gender fluid ka pala eh. Parang I wanna know more about you. Baka sa season 2 nga. Baka sa season 2. Yeah.
Tapos there's also one line that I kept on going back. Parang, why did Chen say that this may be my best kiss, but my worst? So, that's the ending part. So parang, why did he say that? So
I guess
kaya bumabalik yung utak ko
thinking
doon.
about, I guess it was his inner saboteur kicking in.
Yes.
Yung saboteur na naman.
Yes, I think that's it.
Come through.
Bye, Stefan. Adieu. Ciao.
Yeah.
Ciao.
Thanks for being here.
Au revoir.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yun, no? I think that's pretty much what we wanted to say about it.
I only have one bummer left pala.
Go.
Go.
I didn't see Laksa.
Oh. Ginaya mo talaga si Chen, diba?
Siyempre.
Why did we not see Laksa?
Please. Where is Laksa?
Wait, what did Arthur say? Of all the PHBL that I watched, Hello Stranger Boys are the only series that sexuality wasn't mentioned. Didn't Game Boys not mention it as well? Oh.
No, they did.
It was in the coming out, yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. True. Interesting. Hello Stranger is
parang
shooting, so we'll see what that.
Oh, no. Hello Stranger pala wala, no?
They're shooting now for the movie, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see. Oh, but I super like this series really. Bomber lang talaga sa akin episode 5. Sobrang I really got annoyed and like my god, stop BLs already, pero ayoko na. I wanted to stop watching series. Seriously, parang totoo, yun na yun. Siguro parang I was coming from a place na very hopeful ako with the series, right? And I was happy. And then you give me episode 5 and I'm like, really? Yun na yun? Tapos papakitaan mo ko ng mga anak ni Tita Julie doon? Yun na yun? Parang I get that. I understand the attempt of being humorous and being just plain about it. But sayang lang yung episode 5. It could have been more, or there could have been more. Sana.
Why, Nico? Why?
Basta, okay na, happy naman tayo tonight eh. So okay na.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm curious as well. What specifically about episode 5?
Yeah, what's your trigger in episode 5?
Yeah, I don't remember anything triggering.
So, ano ba yung episode 4 ulit? Parang help me recall. What was the story then?
Start of the episode, he started watching Chen's video. I was waiting for my crush for 2 hours. And then they called each other, and then there was the question about the legal, and Chen talked to Libby saying that he's gonna go out because he wants to meet Key, and they sort of like meet, and then the what do you call that? The drawing was given.
Right. And that's it, diba? So dun pa lang, parang I was kind of expecting something from that premise sa episode 5, which did not actually give me that. Gets mo? Parang pinahapyawan lang nung drawing, and then what? You had that conversation na parang nasa kama kayo and all, and I understand the whole point. It's romance, right? So sure, I mean, go abstract, go surreal, whatever, go imaginative, right? But sa akin kasi parang, hala, sayang yung opportunity ng episode 5 sana. There could have been more stories there eh. Like, di mo nag-usap sila over the phone, and they were kind of like being sensual about it, na parang, okay, what was that about? Parang, or probably parang, I wasn't really in the right kind of state of mind at that time, diba? Parang, yun lang, parang it didn't give me a lot. Kasi in the previous episodes and even in the episode tonight, it gave me something, right? Hindi man siguro fully fleshed out stories, but at least consistent na merong naibigay, naintindihan ko. Episode 5 was really plain. It was just, I don't know, ornamental. Parang, okay, siguro. Alam mo
Even
yun,
in Nirvana.
Like if you took it out, it would still be okay.
Oo, parang okay
Actually,
na ako nakatula siya. Diba?
hindi pala kasi she need to have him be locked down in that area. Ganun eh.
Yes, that was the time wherein Mart's got Chen's car, so that's why Chen went there to give the car, and then that's when
Yun yung integral moment. The others were all like additional setup for what's supposed to happen.
Yeah. Pero I'm hoping for season 2, gusto ko talaga, ay ito pala, gusto, I think I sort of like, parang gave you some sort of like a heads up siguro. Parang, I don't know if you guys feel like sharing parang given how Ali King and Alec Kevin act, right? Parang there could have been like a better narrative, I guess, for them. Parang,
yes.
alam mo yun, parang these two actors are too big for the romance narrative. For me, ako lang to. I'll give you, I really have a narrative in mind right now. So, story would be this. So, parang Alec Kevin would be like this corporate guy na 23-year-old guy. Parang
you have a plotline.
Yes! Kasi ganun siya.
Isipan mo na talaga.
Super. Kasi gusto ko ganun yung peg niya. Ako to ako lang to. So, ini-imagine ko in my head. So, he's like a corporate guy, 23-year-old, working in Makati, ganyan. Pero, entry level. Pero matagal, 3 taon na siyang katrabaho. Pero makikita mong super disgusted na siya sa trabaho niya, exhausted na siya. At 23 years old, pagod na siya. Pero okay siya. It's a good paying job, right? And then, he comes from a family na mataas ang expectations. Here's a dad who's a businessman, a mom na housewife, pero mataas ang expectations. It's kind of like a traditional conservative family. Parang ganon. Ang eksena. And then here's now Ali King, who's how do you call this? Who's a working student, 4th year college student. And then meron siyang nanay na single mom, meron siyang kapatid na maliit. And then ang nanay niya nagbebenta ng Avon. Ganon talaga na sa utak ko. So I think ganon. Pero ano siya super ang personality ni Ali King as his character sa i-imagine kong kwento is very optimistic siyang tao, right? Despite their situation, the situation of the family, nagbebenta yung nanay niya, siya working student, 'di ba? Parang gano'n, para matutusan ng pangangailangan nila, 'di ba? Happy pa rin siya, optimistic pa rin siya. Ang question is, wala siyang identity sa sarili niya. Hindi niya alam kung saan siya pupunta, anong future niya. But happy siya, okay? Now here is Alec Kevin as this privileged character. Meron siyang trabaho, meron siyang pamilya, pero ayaw niyang i-pursue yung dream niya to be, I don't know, an architect, for example. Para anything na very artsy or creative, right? Kasi para sa kanya, parang gusto na lang niya mag-settle. But, alam niya, aware siya sa kung anong gusto niyang mangyari sa buhay niya. He wants to become an architect, right? So, here are 2 different characters. Ng isa, very pessimistic, very settling na siya sa buhay niya. Pero aware siya dun sa parang goal niya or life purpose niya. And here's another character na very optimistic, very happy, seemingly okay sa buhay niya kahit mahirap na, pero hindi niya alam yung identity niya. And then ito si Ali King as the character, since graduating student na siya, mapapasok siyang intern dun sa kumpanya ni Ali Kevin. Sims, di ba? And then di ba Mikey, di ba Lance, sometimes we have interns na nakakausap natin. And sometimes, we don't know, like romance may can blossom, di ba? So yun yung parang gusto ko makitang conflict na magkakaroon ng tension and they will have some sort of transformation, di ba? Yung
Nico,
gano'n.
you should really watch Cherry Magic. I'm telling you, you should really watch Cherry Magic. The one you're telling me right now gives me that feel, so better watch it.
Oh my God. Sige. I'll watch that.
Similar.
Okay. So, yun yung, siguro personal preference ko lang yun. Pero sayang lang kasi yung character or yung actors Parang feeling ko, Ali Kevin and Ali King can give more. even si Crystal can really give more. Eh. I just think that the narrative or the romance narrative is too plain for them. Parang hindi pa nailabas. Kasi may mga eksena, kunwari si Ali King, parang may mga eksena na parang pwede pa niyang, alam mo yun, he can add more to the dialogue. But dahil nga yung dialogue, yung linya, simple lang, hanggang dun lang siya. Alam mo yun, nasasayangan lang ako sa opportunity. Eh. Pero I'm hopeful big time for season 2. Yun lang. Ang dami kong kwento. Char.
It's okay.
It's
People in
okay.
the chat are appreciating and commenting on it as well.
I-pitch mo na sa ticket to us.
I-pitch mo raw. Sa Tics for Us.
Tics for
according
Us
to
sa
influencers.
Idea 3 and White Sheep. White Sheep.
Yes. We will pitch it. Ikaw,
Ay,
Lance, if you were
God.
to rewrite or to create a story with the two of them, what would it be?
Siguro, if I'm gonna go, I'll stick to the utopian story pa din. Because I like naman how they attacked it. Pero I want it na there's a darkness. Like what kaya music card Captain Sakura. It's like fluff. It's like fluff on the outside, there's darkness on the inside. Parang ganun yung gusto kong gawin na atake. Na, like there's a dark, like for example, kaya they're all fluff kasi there's a dark past in Alec King's life and also in kumbaga, the kitchen love story, there's a dark past in them. Like for example, Chen's character could have, because there's no signs of parents for Chen's character from start to end. They could have died a tragic death. Romeo and Juliet.
Right.
And that's why he couldn't love anyone else because of that. That anyone he falls in love would die. Because that's what happened to the parents. So parang ganun. If you build on that, that's what we need. Tapos yung kay Kalungsod naman, ang dark past niya would be he couldn't, parang, I want him to have the inner saboteur for some reason. I want to have Mikey's inner saboteur and super inner saboteur that everything he does will, parang he'll be thinking of 1,000 reasons why it would not make it work. Parang ganon. You'd see that conflict inside of him. Pero it's more emotional na you'd see it surface level in his emotions. You'd see the, tawag nito, yung scales, kumbaga, in acting. For that, you need bigger scales for that.
Right.
Pero same flow. Kasi, pero the conflict's gonna be with them kasi it's gonna be how will someone with a dark past na your parents died and everyone you love will die find love with someone there's an inner saboteur saying everything won't work because of that.
Yes.
Sa sarili niya. So that would have been a good conflict.
Uy, interesting yun. Kasi nag-elevate yung story. For me like in my head, na-imagine ko talaga siya. Yes! I love it.
Diba? Yun lang eh. Kasi the rest, it can go the same flow. It can go the same flow. Just, you have to tweak some little scenes and then you're good to go. You just need to add integral elements lang. Kasi sayang yung utopian world. Kasi it's the good balance of the utopian world eh. You have the dark, kumbaga, and every cherry, there's the rum inside the cake. Parang ganon.
Kaya ba cherry magic? Char.
Hindi ko alam.
So I was actually also thinking na maybe in the second season. Wala ako maisip eh. Pero I was thinking, siguro in general terms na I haven't really flashed out in my head. But I was thinking that maybe since it is a pandemic na, for example, we have Alec who has sort of like a mental condition. You know? Something that may have been caused by a trauma in his past, such that he has a lot of anxieties and fears, and maybe he could also be somewhat a little bit too OC, that he can't touch things without using gloves or or he could be a germaphobe, or something like that, something complex.
Then
here comes along Ali, who is very carefree, who is very let's say happy-go-lucky, and who's fearless. They sort of develop like this attraction or friendship. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but they sort of like start becoming closer to one another, and then eventually Ali is able to pull Alec out of his shell. take
Si
more
mga ganyang
chances,
kwento.
to be more carefree, to be more of a
Yeah.
risk taker, and
Yeah.
they do it with love. I don't know, something like
And
Ang
that.
there's,
Yeah.
saya. Yeah, it's
and there's
good.
and there's transformation there of the characters, 'di ba? Si mga ganyang kwento.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
Nico, I
Baba.
think that's what we're missing from the series. We're missing
Right.
the transformation story.
Exactly. 'Di ba?
Now, also in the second season, I'm also hoping that we could get some, I guess, a backstory, like what happened to the
Yeah.
mom. Why are they
Yes, yes.
alone? Like,
Mm-mm.
why? Why? What happened? What's their
Oh,
situation?
alam mo
And
naman
also
tayo.
the parents
ah,
of Key, like
yes.
Baguio.
Mm-mm.
Maybe they go to Baguio. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah,
Change of
yeah,
scenery.
yeah.
Please,
That's more
please.
of the dynamic there.
Give us
Something like that.
more.
I
Yeah,
do hope
season
they go to
2,
Baguio for season 2, please.
please.
Sana. Change of scenery. Magandang change of scenery yun eh. Kasi they say that
Yeah,
travel will
I
make or
like
break a
that.
relationship sometimes. So
Absolutely. Sure.
it's a good
Uy,
test of who you are
ma-
when you're traveling.
uy, maganda
You
ang
also get to
Baguio,
know the person.
ha?
Lalo na't Baguio is known to have a curse daw with lovers.
Really?
Oh!
And
I
I
didn't
mean,
know that.
parang sabi nila nasasawi daw yung mga pag-ibig kapag for those who come. It's like the breakup. There's always breakup stories in Baguio daw.
Right.
Oh wow, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And that adds more to the
Immune
conflict.
ako.
I wonder why.
Immune ako.
But
I don't
then,
know why.
but then if they break up in Baguio, they can go to Sagada and scream their hearts out. So,
Yes.
I love
So-
it. Hoy, seryoso, nabuhayan ako sa mga alternative na kwento. Promise.
Mhm.
I
Parang,
don't know.
di ba? Parang, they could be more, right?
Yeah,
I mean, they're
absolutely.
good in what they do.
I mean,
so,
all it takes is well, not all it takes, but one of the things would be a really good script. So we
Yes.
have to have a strong script writer.
Yeah.
right.
Yun.
True.
So
Ayan.
we are
So
Ready na
if
ba tayo? Ready na ba
If they're
tayo
all
mag-rate?
listening, I hope they get us for a brainstorming session too, please. We are
Yeah.
willing to help.
yes. If Kaloy or Alec or Ali are here, charot. Or
Yeah, Jade
maybe
Castro,
Danica
Denise,
maybe. Denise ba? Akala ko Danica. Oh my god. I'm getting it wrong. Oh my gosh. But anyways,
Ooh.
I'm so sorry.
Denise. Ayan o.
I guess it's my brain that's autocorrecting itself. But yeah, if you need some brainstorming buddies,
Mhm. Denise,
let us
if you need
know.
help, we're here. We're open.
Yeah.
Wait, kung kumpara sa inyo, like who stood out for you as the character? Parang Chen. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just very endearing, and he can also be very vulnerable,
Mm,
and he's also very sincere, and
yeah.
that big dick energy.
Dalang-dala niya, no? Grabe.
yes.
Yeah, that did it for me.
Wow.
Yeah, how about you guys?
Ikaw lang.
Mine's Titin pa din. I stick to Titin pa rin.
Right.
Na, she really got me when she did that iyak. That multitasking of eating, crying, and monologuing.
Yeah.
Okay. Ako, I'll give it to Ali King siguro. Kasi I was looking for a bit of transformation, I guess. And I saw the bit of change in the entire series eh. Alam mo yun? And then, alam mo pag nagsasalita siya, napaka-natural lang talaga niya magsalita. Although I could have also given it to Chen. Actually, pareho lang naman sila eh. Kasi, like, the dynamics is there, like, for both of them. Pero siguro in terms of bit of change in character development, parang nakita ko yun sa kanya all throughout the entire series. So, I'm giving it to Ali King. But I can also give it to Ali Kevin. Pero Ali King for me, yes. I was surprised. Kasi di ba, parang, as far as I know, vlogger siya. He started off as a vlogger. Wala siyang experience in acting. Right?
Yeah.
Although may workshop naman sila. But to me kasi, I didn't expect a lot from him. But here, I'm like, whoa, okay, sige.
He has acting potential. He has acting potential.
He does.
Yes,
He does.
definitely.
Oh, naiyak talaga ako. Miss ko to.
Di ba?
Sabi.
Actually, kasi parang
Series.
wala na tayong dessert for
I
every drama, and
know, I know.
Oh,
Ay,
our dessert is gone.
I
true.
know.
Yung panghimagas. But
Yes.
there are other series coming, so who knows? Maybe your home can also be a feel good one.
Yeah,
But
something we
it
can
feels
explore. Yeah,
nostalgic though.
Yes, it
I
talaga.
don't
does.
know. Maybe
Yeah,
it's
it
more
just
Sure.
dramatic than feel good.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay. We'll see about that. Yes. Okay,
Yes.
mag-rating muna tayo. I-rate na natin tong
Yes.
season 1 ng Boys
For those
Lockdown.
in the chat, you can also give your rating. So from 1 to 10, what are you rating it? And can you also give us or like why you rated it that way? Maybe
Yes.
a quick lang. Yeah.
Kaya I'm
So
curious tuloy ano rating mo, Nico, with your Excel. Kasi you had the Excel a while
Ayoko
ago.
na, ayoko na ipakita yung Excel. Baka sabihin, mamaro ako dito. Pala.
Hindi naman.
Kasi siguro, alam mo, while you guys were talking, ina-adjust ko talaga siya. Kasi tama si Mikey eh. May mga nare-realize ako na hindi ko siya na isip until you guys, pointed that out eh. So I had to
Yeah.
adjust a bit. Diba? So, ako overall, and this is a good score for me kasi kung i-round off naman siya, it's actually 7.78 for me. Really. Siguro, bumaba lang talaga siya sa storytelling, and then I don't know, character development, parang I needed more depth. Yun lang. Other than that, for acting and then production, parang it's a good score for me. Yeah.
Okay.
So 7.78, yes.
Nico, you know why I'm laughing? Your
Why?
score is close to mine.
Talaga? Ano?
Rounded off, it's 7.8.
Uy!
Talaga?
Totoo yan.
I was tossing between it my score ranged from 7.8 to 8. So I was shifting, going back and forth, and then eventually stuck to 7.8 because of one thing we've all said. It was lacking transformation.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
it went down.
Gusto ko yun. Mikey, ikaw?
I'm actually giving it an 8.5.
Okay.
Okay.
May ganon. Kasi, di ba we rated a series last time?
Yes.
Diba? And you gave it an 8. So parang based on what we talked about today, and also parang in comparison to that particular series, I felt that this had it offered a little bit more for me.
Okay.
At least in terms of yung well, there's the kilig factor.
True.
Yeah, and I think in terms of yung messaging rin naman for me,
Yeah,
they're very
agree.
important. Kasi parang they really took the pandemic as a theme and they made it part of that entire narrative.
True.
So I appreciated that about that. I also like na parang there was some exploration of multi-dimensional characters. Pero yun nga, medyo short lang sa iba.
Mhm.
Pero parang siguro in my case, I didn't feel that it was what do you call this? Too major a thing. Kasi I also take into consideration na 6 episodes nga lang talaga siya.
Yeah.
So you can't do a lot with 6 episodes. Not really.
Agree.
So with the time that they had, they were able to still put a lot of stuff in there. Pero yun nga, it's not a 10. Kasi there were some inconsistencies in the behavior. And,
True.
you know, the fan service for me, parang, we could do without that. I mean, for me anyways. Because, I mean, if you just take a look at the cuteness of these two characters, you don't need to take off your shirts. Like, seriously. But, you know, that's just me. And also, maybe yun nga, a little bit more conflict as well. Not necessarily like groundbreaking or not necessarily like somebody dies or something of that level, but maybe a little bit more than it. Because we don't really know. Well, we can't really call them as because each relationship has its ups and downs, and each relationship has its disagreements and fights and all of that. So parang here everything is peachy. So parang you don't really get to know the characters because
Mhm.
in a way, parang there's something that's not there yet. So hopefully we'll see
Yeah.
that in the second season. We'll see.
Okay.
Mike,
Cool.
Mikey, napaisip tuloy ako.
Uy, sorry na.
You can
Yeah,
always
kasi
adjust. Yeah.
yeah, actually, it's gonna go up na because when you said
Okay,
na
sige, go.
referencing it from the other series that we've watched when we scored it, parang for me,
Sorry.
it would have ranked. I mean, in my
Higher.
arrangement in my head, it would have ranked higher versus the one I just gave na that 8 na score. So for that,
Okay.
it's an 8. It's gonna be an 8.1. Ganun din.
8.1. Para ka
Okay,
na
okay.
si Ange, may specific ano. Ulitin natin So, wait lang. Considering, taking into consideration yung nag-rate din dito sa comments natin. Sama na natin.
Dalawang
Average natin lahat. 8 plus 8, and, ano to? May
Bumaba yung
7.8.
bumaba yung kay Sapi.
Okay.
7.8.
And then we have Pietro, 8, no? Okay. And then Mikey is 8.5. Lance is
Yeah.
8.1.
And I'm also coming from the idea na parang we need more fluff in this
Yeah.
world. And I think this provides it. Yun lang.
True. Uy, mataas pa rin to be fair. Let me put it in.
Yeah.
It is still okay as a score, ha?
What's the score?
Ito
8 point something.
9.
Whoa. 8.02.
8.02.
That's good enough. That's good enough.
That's good. That's good. It's still a good score.
Yes. Uy, kanina talaga, 7.13 talaga yung score ko, mama. I was so bad. pero yun nga parang you need to hear different insights for you to realize kasi ako specifically ako like I sometimes miss out some specific details already about this kasi tumatakbo ng matagal and then once you guys point these out saka ko na-realize and then I factor these in sa rating ko. Yes.
Kasi nag-last memory syndrome ako kaya the last memory I had was 7.8 when I heard about the transformation. Then when Mike reminded me of our score before, parang, okay, bring it up.
May balance tayo dito, no?
kasi and that's what I do rin for the other series that we rate, di ba? Yung mga Thai BL series. Parang, sandali, parang tama ba yung score na to? Kasi kung ganito yung score niya, bakit mas mataas to na hindi ko masyadong type? Alam mo yun?
Yes.
So, mga ginaganon ko.
Right.
I try to compare it as much as I can.
Mas type ko to kaysa dun sa isa binigyan ko ng 8. Kaya sabi ko, hindi pwede to.
Diba? Kasi at the end of the day, how does it make you feel?
True.
That's it Diba?
True.
Parang yun naman talaga. That's it. Nice.
Seryoso talaga. Nung sa di ba we were about to go live na, tapos sabi ni Mike, ligo lang ako. Si Lance, parang, pinapanood ka pa. Pagkapasok ko talaga ng banyo, tumulo talaga luha ko. I swear.
Oh my God.
Ganun talaga. Kasi parang, sabi ko, bakit ganito? Tapos sinatry ko i-process. Why? And then yun nga, I'm reminded of the past. Ganyan.
Why?
Pero it's a good,
Pero ramdam ko rin yun kasi parang I know that kind of struggle din kasi that's a struggle I'm going through na
True.
I want to kiss him so bad pero I cannot because of this quarantine.
Diba?
So true.
Diba? So true.
Kaya sabi ko, sabi naman ni Alec na we can just gargle naman afterwards, so let's see.
Pero dapat talaga oral solution talaga.
Yes.
So guys, this is actually happening tonight. So I think at 10 p.m. Philippine time, Kent and C-Rex have already started their live. So it's going to be about the finale for Boys Lockdown and also the fundraiser, which is Boys Love is Back. So it is only up until 11:59 tonight. So if you want to make habol, guys, if you want to make habol, you can
go push mo, go.
You can still donate to your favorite actors and actresses. So just go to Twitter and all the details are there. So just check it out and you can donate to your favorite actor or actress and they will give you personalized video greeting if you're one of the top 5 who donated under their name. So go ahead and make sure that you check it out or share it. And like every little bit helps. And if you're not able to give, make sure that you go ahead and share it because the more that it's spread, the better for everyone. Thank you,
Yes.
guys. Nakakainis.
Ito naman, hindi ka pa tapos. Ito pa.
Hindi ba? Ayoko na.
Bicol naman yung isa. Bicol na.
Nahirapan.
Oo.
Sa mga gusto magtabang dyan, nahirapan ako. It's been a while. But, so anyways, if you guys want to help out the people in Verac, Catanduanes, this is specifically for those who have lost their homes. So the aim is to put roofs over people's homes because it's a pandemic and they need to be able to segregate themselves and stay in their own homes to protect themselves from the virus. So if you buy a plant or if you donate in cash, it will be given to the people in Verac, Catanduanes for them to put roofs over their homes and also to rebuild their homes. So go ahead and give what you can or purchase a plant. And if you purchase plant, then at least you have something to keep as a souvenir. It'll be better. It'll be good for your home. It'll be good to it helps with mental health, right? So to take care of, and it's also good for the environment because oxygen and stuff. And you can also give it as a gift, just in case you don't want to keep it. So go ahead and check it out. It's on our social media, and they also have a website up. It is in the details as well. Go ahead and check it out. Thank you so much, guys.
Yes. O, diba?
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Maki.
Ayun.
Yes.
Hi,
So we are
Mama.
now closing. Mama. 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 So-
Mama.
But we're having something on Tuesday, no, Mikey, Lance?
What are we having on Tuesday? I forgot. What are we having on Tuesday? Oh my God! The series is
Yes.
premiering on Tuesday.
Ano oras?
So it's gonna be 8:00. Go ahead and check it out. Go ahead and go to Hue TV everywhere on YouTube. Check out their channel. You can also check Cheetah Series on Twitter and Facebook. Go ahead and subscribe so that you can get their notifications and updates on whether they upload something or not. And go ahead and support that. We have met the cast. We've interviewed them. In fact, we just reposted the video earlier on Twitter. So if you want to go ahead and check it out, you can also check it out here on YouTube. It is a really, really fun and great interview, I would have to say, because we learned a lot about the cast and they shared a lot about themselves. So go ahead and check it out.
Yes. Excited ako. Super.
Yes.
Excited. Yeah.
I know. I want to know what happens with their stories.
Yes,
We
and
met
let's
them,
see.
and they're all so diverse and also
Yeah.
very talented and smart. And I would
Uy.
say keep giving and caring. Diba? So
Super.
a really admirable.
Or may isang teaser sila na panood ko. I don't know if you've seen this on YouTube. Na si Daryl and Migo, 'di ba? Sila.
No. That was
Hindi ba?
that was a live. I think they did a Kumu live. It was
Yes.
oh wait, Daryl and Migo? Oh no,
No,
I'm thinking of something else.
No. May teaser sa YouTube. I'll share it with you sa group chat natin.
Okay. Yes.
Just
Di ba may
last-
question sila sa trailer? Si Migo was
Right.
asking Daryl, virgin ka ba? Because I think that they are sort of like the main thing.
Right.
And then Alora and VR sort of like come in and sort of like there's
Yeah,
this whole
yes.
quadruple thing going on. So 4 will be more. Hindi na 3 will be free. It's 4 will be more. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Paano ko pag
So
5 na sila?
Ayun.
5 will be live. Charot.
3 will be 3, 4 will be more, 5 will be live.
Diba?
That's a
Naman,
whole mess. That's a whole mess.
sabi nga sa The Crown, 'di ba? Yung husband, yung pinakasalan ni Princess Margaret. But this is Margaret. Was it Margaret? Yes, Princess Margaret.
Anne. Margaret. Oh yes. Margaret.
Third, 'di ba?
Photographer.
Photographer, polyamorous. Char.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yun lang.
That's very true.
Oh, ito na, mag-outro na tayo, sabi ni Mark, oh.
Yes.
Sabi ko nga, pasok na siya for the last time.
Kinecue na tayo ni Mark. Ayun na si
Get
Direk.
away, Lance.
Kinecue na tayo.
Alright, guys, don't forget to follow and subscribe our channels. There's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's YouTube and Twitter. It's Brouhaha B Squad and at Brouhaha B Squad. So don't forget to like and hit the notification button too. And above is Mikey, I'm Lance, and below is Nico. And we're out and proud. Thank you very much.
Yeah. See you on Tuesday, everybody.
Oh no, it's the start of a new weekend.